I just finished watching Joe Biden's inauguration. I observed his body language closely, and the result is boring. And why being boring is sometimes the best option, you will get to know in that analysis. Please follow me, please press a thumbs up and a like if you want more analysis about body language. Well, before we head to Joe Biden, we should take a closer look at the body language of his predecessor, starting with Barack Obama. If we see those pictures, you will remember his way of moving, his loose way of walking, shaking a little bit, turning a little bit, almost dancing. And he's also very open when getting in contact with people, at least on a superficial level. But that is important because it is very expressive. It gives you the feeling that this person likes to get in contact with people, that this person is loose and elegant, maybe a little bit cool. Now, if you like that, if you think that is very important in a human being, then you will easily find him very likable and you get a great connection to him. And that is easy for you because he is so expressive with that body language. On the other hand, we have the 45th president, Donald Trump. He has a completely different way of expressing himself. If we see his facial expression at his inauguration, if we see him walking here, it is a completely different emotion that he shows. Now that is good for people who prefer that, who want to see a strong person, who want to be a person to be taken serious. Then this expressive way of showing his body language is a great field of reflecting their own emotions. And that is why an expressive body language is good, with a huge but. The big but is, if you think a president must not be cool, but he should rather take his job serious, then you will have a hard time with Barack Obama. Not that he doesn't take his job very serious, but his body language gives you the feeling of being too cool and too loose. And the same, on the other hand, is with Donald Trump. If you think a president should be a president who is very open, who is very inviting, then you will have a hard time with Donald Trump, because his expression of being very serious, very proud, is so strong that other feelings are not possible when you see him. And that is the problem with being too expressive with your body language. So you are always polarizing a little bit. And then there's Joe Biden. If we see Joe Biden, just from an overall perspective, we don't find any precise signals in his body language. But that is maybe the best option for a president in that time, because he doesn't polarize. He isn't too loose and he isn't too serious for a lot of people. From an overall perspective, it is not very exciting. We don't have that loose walk of Barack Obama. We don't have that serious, proud walk of Donald Trump. Here we see an elderly man walking through a hallway. And that's it. And if we see him speak, you can take any moment in that inaugural speech and you won't see any changes. And that's it. He looks from one side to the other, which means from one teleprompter to the other teleprompter. Sometimes he looks straight forward to the imaginary audience, and that's it. There is not much of a change. Once or twice he turns back a little bit, but that's it. And his gestures. When we see his gestures, you can reduce it mainly to two gestures. That is, number one, the stretched out index finger, and what he frequently does is hammer down his hands in that way. Well, he does it so frequently that I wonder whether he has Austrian ancestors, because it looks like as if he would cut Wiener schnitzels all the time. But anyway, that's it. Those gestures don't get very big. It's not like Barack Obama's gestures, he stretched out his arms to the full extent, or Donald Trump, who hammers down his fists. No, it's a little motion up and down, and that's it. So to be honest, it's not very exciting. But that's the way he can unite that country and also the world. Being boring sometimes is a good idea because you don't polarize. If you don't do that much with your body language, there are not many people who will hate it, but there are also not many people who get enthusiastic about it. Interesting fact was his voice, because that gave us the clue that he is nervous, which is understandable, of course. But why do we see that? When we are nervous, it is a physical procedure that makes our muscles tense. And when we have tensed muscles also in the belly area, the voice also gets a little bit more tense because this area also tenses up, and then you get the air up there and all the words they remain in that level.
We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
Only towards the end of his speech, he loosens up a little bit, and then the voice goes up and down a little bit. That is way better. That is also a hint for you.
If we show a little tolerance and humility, and if we're willing to stand in the other person's shoes, as my mom would say, just for a moment, stand in their shoes.
So, all in all, Joe Biden, boring in his body language, but maybe the right option for that time.